So, if you had told me that a film about men where majority of the cast is men and there's only one woman was gonna be a way to show depths and complexities that is the woman and her psyche, I'd have told you to fuck off. So hi, if this is your first time meeting me, I'm Rasheen. I love movies. I love everything about movies. I watch and have watched so many. Woman, whoa, man, whoa. Man. The witch's whole story made me kind of horny. Or was it just his real cool hairdo? I humping Yennefer from across the room. The sidekick is cute. He sings and plays the lute. Also, he can have money and fame. Someone get me off this crazy train called love. Let's talk about the film Men. I loved this film. I loved it and I hated it and I loved it again and then I hated it again. Like I keep on switching back and forth. By Alexander Garland from 2022, and it's taken me a while to sort of come around to get to grips and put myself in a position where I could actually watch this film, because it's not, I knew it was going to be Alex Garland, so I knew it wasn't going to be an easy watch, and I knew it was something that was going to take a couple of days for me to process, because I feel like with any single film that's done by Alex Garland, who is the writer and director of this film, he did Never Let Me Go, he did Ex Machina, which when it came out again blew everyone away. He wrote and directed that one, not based on a book, and then Annihilation. Ever since he's done Never Let Me Go, I've been on bated breath to see what he's gonna do next, because he just writes in a way that's just really interesting, and he writes in a way that he assumes everybody is as smart as him and lead their audience to the point where they can use a bit of their imagination, and that's why I really appreciate his works. But anyway, that's me stopping gushing about Alex Garland, who I love everything that he's done so far. Yeah, so Men is has another really great actress in it, Jessie Buckley, who I think it's called Wild Heart. Roy Kinnear as well as Jessie Buckley, and then the man that plays her husband, I cannot pronounce his name, forgive me sir, I will try. Papa Isidiu. Maybe I said it right, maybe I said it wrong. The movie follows Jessie Buckley's character, who has recently suffered a bereavement, and she's booked herself away at a place in the English countryside to sort of get over her grief and come back to reality. And you meet the landowner of this amazing cottage in a village off somewhere, and as she is trying to sort of come to grips with what has happened to her, there's so much exposition that happens, there's so much character building that happens so quickly, and a lot of it is without words, and that's what films are supposed to do. She goes on a walk, and I believe there's a scene that happens in the film where she's going on this walk and she comes across a bridge, and as she's approaching the bridge, you sort of see the reflection of the bridge in the water, and I feel like this is the part in the film where it becomes this Alice in Wonderland type vision, where she's sort of going through the looking glass, and I feel like this part in the film is where you're not really sure if everything you see after that is reality or everything after that is something in her mind which she's made up to cope. She can sing and she hears her echo, and her echo bounces back and comes back to her, and then that sort of creates this motif that comes back in the film of things coming back to you living through memories in the past, present, happens a lot throughout the film. Under this very long bridge, she sort of thinks that she sees somebody at the end of the bridge, and then she gets very panicked, and then she starts to run away. And as she starts to run, she thinks that person is chasing her. Cut to the next day, and I think she starts doing her work or whatever, and there's an intruder outside of her lawn. And the intruder quickly, she calls the police, manages to shut the door. And this is where the film sort of turns from drama very quickly into horror. And then I think some sort of psychological horror as well. After this intruder is caught, she decides to go to a bar, and literally everybody that she meets at the bar, it all have the same face as, a similar face as the person who's the landowner. She never sort of acknowledges this, but it's also very interesting that it seemed like each person that was in that bar was some sort of archetype of a male that you could have met in your life at some point, being a female or a male. Play off the fact that she's had this intruder come to her house and nobody seems concerned about it, really. I just think so. Silly woman. And it was at that point in the film that I got so upset, but then I felt like it was so extremely well observed, not just as a man, from a man's perspective, but from a woman's perspective as well. Because these things that constantly happen in everyday society, women are seen as being overreacted or as exaggeration of very real fear and threats to happen in your life. But you get told numerous amounts of ways that you're just overreacting or it's in your head. And I thought it was just very well put together part of the film, because time and time again you get female rage portrayed as one thing, but what it actually is something quite different. Whereas I feel like male rage is always portrayed as exactly how it is. Female rage when somebody's just done and they just completely shut off, and whatever pain it is that you're feeling, male is feeling, is no longer their concern because you've put them through enough. You're more watching a study of human character, human emotion, how humans interact and take care of each other. And at some point, when are you responsible for somebody else's mental state? Because all of these things are going on about, there's sort of not a war on the sexes, but there is, gender roles are being changed actively every day. And what used to be acceptable is no longer acceptable anymore. It just breaks down so many different things about women, about mental health, about the way that women are treated, the way that men are treated, the way that women and men treat each other. And I just thought it was just very well done. Very well done. I think the director chooses things very clearly and very wisely and with very much precision. I have to sort of talk about and dissect the last scene a little bit. Character who's towards the end of the film causing her a lot of torment births himself over and over and over and over again, and that's why it becomes this thing where you're like, well, when is this gonna end? When is this gonna stop? I don't think I can watch another one of these. This is torturous. And this saying is somebody who's actually gone through the birthing process. I think he did a very good job. And all of these people that she'd been talking to that all had similar faces actually were not there at all. And also, that was the point where I was like, there's no women in this village. Where did they go? Like, it would be very hard to have a village, or maybe there are, where there's no women. And maybe that's why she created this version of men giving birth to themselves. The friend arrives at the getaway and you see that the friend is pregnant, which is another reason why I thought it was all in her head. But the friend sees all of the chaos that has ensued while all of this was happening, which makes me again think, was it all in her head? Or was it something else? Was this place that she was some sort of magical parallel universe that she dived into when she walked through that bridge? It's a brilliant film. There's so many things to explore and pick apart. Let me know if there's anything that I should watch. I'm probably gonna try and watch a couple of the next couple of days, things that I've been putting on the back burner. If you like this film as well, please let me know. Anything that you think I should watch that I would enjoy. Please let me know if you like my ramblings. I will try and edit it to make it seem like it's less of a ramble and more of a whole thought. Yeah, I enjoyed this one. Hope you do too. And cheers. This is the place to be. Not bang to me.